This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So, Matt, we've been working together now for a little bit, and but I got to know something. Are you like a coupon clipper? Or are you like, hey?
Absolutely. Well, I'm not a coupon clipper, but I am frugal. I look for the best deals. I look for discounts. And sometimes it's not always a great deal. You know, sometimes you go to the extra effort and you're like, well, that was a waste. That was stupid. Why did I go to all that effort just to save a couple of dollars when the product is not as good, or all the hassle and the work that I went through to do it?
Yep.
Like, for instance, like DIY projects, you know, is it worth it to hire somebody?
I almost thought you were going to say DEI. I was like, what? Well, this show just went a different way.
DIY. So if, you know, there's that debate. Oh, I can just fix this myself. I can fix my washing machine myself.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know, 3 weeks later, my wife is going to the laundromat and I'm still trying to figure out what's wrong with it. But, you know, and it would have been just easier and cheaper probably in the long run to just hire somebody. So I'm like that. I'm always looking for the best deal. I'm a single income family home. And so I got 3 kids. And so just trying to maximize.
Put those kids to work, man. You can turn into a 4-income family
I know,
home.
Exactly. So I'm like many people out there, always looking for a good deal for the best price on something. You know, sometimes it's beneficial. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like, wow, what a waste. I should have just bought the more expensive one, or, you know.
Well, sometimes that is exactly what sellers are going through, right? They're thinking, hey, what's the difference between the more traditional route and a discount model? So
the more traditional route is what?
More traditional route is, we're not allowed to discuss fees typically, but you're talking like 2.5, 3 bananas instead of 1
Working
banana.
with a local real estate
agent. Yeah.
With a company like Made for More. You're the more traditional route.
Absolutely.
Right? Working with somebody.
Traditional in the sense of that we're not, when I say traditional, essentially what I mean is not a discount shop. We're not a discount broker.
Usually a smaller brokerage, right? Not a huge.
Or even like Remax, Keller,
those are
Century
still
21,
traditional. Okay.
Realty One. Those are all more traditional.
So that's
brokerages.
Traditional. What's a discount brokerage?
So a discount brokerage is somebody who's willing to do similar work to what a traditional brokerage does, but for less money.
Less of a commission.
Less fees, yeah.
Still a real person, right?
Sometimes. Sometimes you're dealing with somebody who's going to walk you through the process from beginning to end. Sometimes it's chunked up. So they're just there to help you in the initial consultation. Then there's somebody else to help you get the process, the home ready. Then there's somebody else, like it's an assembly line type of a process.
So as a homeowner, I have 2 options. I have the traditional route, which is the traditional commission rate that's been around for years, right?
Well, and that tends to net you the most amount of money. So that's a clear differentiator. Is there's the traditional route that nets the homeowner the most amount of money. There's the cash offer route, which is easy. It's like the Staples Easy
less
button.
Work, simple,
less
quick,
work.
Fastest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the discount brokerage, like a Redfin, which are
RIP.
RIP.
Yeah, Redfin. They were recently purchased by Rocket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So and they offer sellers the opportunity to put their home on the market at a much lower commission rate.
Absolutely.
And so a homeowner looks at that and says, hold on a second, this is great. I'm going to net the most money, less fees. Why wouldn't I go this route? This seems obvious. I mean, Redfin, Johnny Jennings, same deal. You know, they're going to probably do the same amount of work, same strategy, right? So that's
what they think.
For me, okay, so correct us in our error in thinking that way.
So I will say there are fantastic agents at these various discount shops. Like, I'm not knocking any individuals. Valerie and I used to work for a discount shop. We used to work for Purple Bricks, and we provided exceptional service, and our clients loved us, and we're still working with them to this day. That's a good barometer on how you're doing with clients. If they call you up and if they refer friends and family members, right? Then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I was providing a service worth what I was charging. What happens with these discount models, and why, to my knowledge, none of them have succeeded at scale. So there's Help You Sell from I think they started in the 70s. I hardly run across a Help You Sell agent. There was Rex, they're bankrupt. There was Purple Bricks, they're bankrupt. There's Redfin, they barely ever made any money, and they ended up selling out to Rocket. They were acquired by Rocket. So the Redfin experiment is over. as far as it goes with discount brokerages, the reason why they don't work.
Why did they fail though?
So for Redfin,
why did their model not work? It seems like it should have worked.
So with Redfin, based off what I've read, and Purple Bricks, based off what I lived, they made the same mistakes. Purple Bricks expanded too quickly, and they burned through their capital.
And it seems like it would be tough to acquire and retain talented people.
That's exactly what ends up happening long term. So
like, why would I want to work for you? I'm not going to get paid as much. That would be tough to get people on board. Maybe they think they get a larger volume, but still, that's just a lot of work.
It's a lot
for
of work,
a less
money.
pay. Yeah.
It's so hard on the agent. So what ends up happening? So Purple Bricks Part 1, reason one, they expanded too quickly before they became profitable.
Yeah.
They led with growth was more important than profits, which ultimately led to the demise of Purple Bricks. Redfin, and that was thing one with Purple Bricks. The second thing is it's really hard. Purple Bricks was only around in the U.S. for 18 months. But had they been around 2 years, 3 years, what they would have started experiencing is those top producing agents that they had, those quality agents providing quality service, would have gone to a more traditional brokerage model because they could get paid more for doing the same work.
Right.
And now all of a sudden it's just the newer, less experienced, lower quality agents that are remaining at Purple Bricks, which would have tarnished the brand, and that's kind of what Redfin ran into a little bit. So what happened with Redfin is, again, there were great agents at Redfin. I know 2 guys who were absolutely phenomenal Redfin agents. 3 out of those 3, 2 left. 2 left and started and joined other brokerages or started their own thing. Okay, so the quality ones left. So this isn't. I'm not talking out of theory. This is like real life personal experience. So what Redfin, one of the problems Redfin ran into though is they were not making money. The discount model does not scale. If you're getting paid, let's just say $1,000 per transaction, and you got to pay a real estate agent, you got to pay a transaction coordinator, you got to pay photos. Like there's not a lot of money there.
Yeah.
Like how are you going to support the agent? So now the agent has to do all these other roles, and then they end up getting burnt out.
Yeah.
And then you have to bring on another agent, and then it's just rinse and repeat. And so the quality of service, the quality of the product is lower at that discount model. If you go walk into a Walmart, the clothes there are very different than the clothes at Nordstrom. They're both shirts, but the quality is different. And so, and as far as shirts go, that's fine. But when it comes to selling a house, that's oftentimes people's greatest asset. And people noticed that they were making more money with the traditional route, even though they were paying more than they were with the Redfin model. For example, sold a house for a family in Sacramento. They had moved out of the house and they'd bought another home. So they still had a mortgage on that first property that they were paying. The house was vacant. There were no tenants in there. So every single month they were writing a check for a house they were not living in. A house that was vacant, that could be vandalized, that could have a water pipe break, and they not even know about it because they're not living in the home. They went with a friend. The friend couldn't get the house sold. They then thought, hey, you know what? All realtors are the same. Let's just go with the cheapest option.
Yeah.
And let's just try somebody newer or somebody different. So they went with the cheap option. They couldn't get the house sold. Why? I don't know. Maybe they had the pricing wrong. Maybe they were inexperienced. Maybe their marketing wasn't on point. Maybe they didn't have a network of people or a database of people they could reach out to.
Right.
End of the day, the house didn't sell. So when they call us, we were the most expensive. We were the most pricey option, but we were the least expensive. We were the least expensive for 2 reasons. One, the house sold. Right, they didn't have to write another mortgage check. It sold the first weekend on the market, multiple offers.
Right.
And 2, we netted them more money than what they would have gotten with those other people. So even though our fee was higher, their out-of-pocket was less. That's one example. Another example was a house was listed by Redfin. The person could not sell it. Again, the house is vacant. Nobody's living in there. They're still making the monthly payment. There's a risk of squatters and just, actually on this house.
Right.
There was during the winter season, it rained, caused water damage. During one of the showings, the water damage was discovered, right? And so, but they would not have known that otherwise. At least there were showings taking place. We ended up selling that home. Redfin had it listed before. Redfin couldn't get the job done. And so when you're looking at it, yes, if you're just looking at it black and white, hey, they're going to charge me, 1 banana. The discount's going to charge me 1 banana. Made for More is going to charge me more bananas. Like, I'm just going to go with the cheaper option. If you're looking at it just on paper, then yeah, the numbers would make sense in that way, but that's not how. There's so much more that goes into it. And the third and final example I'll give you is I was interviewing for a job, for a listing. The house was valued at $1.7 million. So this is not like a small amount in terms of realtor fees that we're talking about, okay? He was also interviewing Redfin. He chose me because of the marketing, because of the experience, and because of the contractors and just the expertise we were able to provide versus the templated Redfin model. This is a guy who is very, very, I don't want to say cheap, frugal, very, very cost conscious. But he recognized, hey, you pay for what you get. This is a $1.7 million transaction. I'm not going to risk that on somebody who's new.
Right.
So when you're evaluating, again, there's good agents in all these brokerages, but you can't ignore the fact that every single one of them has failed at scale. Purple Bricks, Rex, Redfin, they're gone. They do not exist anymore in the traditional sense. They're
not selling houses.
They're not selling enough houses to make a profit, which means their agents probably aren't making enough money, which means what kind of quality service are you getting?
Right.
And at the end of the day, are they getting the job done? If Redfin was getting the job done way better than everybody else, you'd see Redfin signs everywhere.
Yeah.
The question you have to ask yourself is, why do I not see more Redfin signs?
Because the work required is the work that's required to sell a home.
Yep.
There's no, in that sense, there is no difference between Redfin and what you guys do. The work that is required to sell that home for the most money is the work that's going to be required. You know, there's no way to compromise on the stitching, like an assured or how it's done. If you want to sell the house for the most money, then you got to put in the work, and just Redfin
they couldn't get it done.
Isn't able to do that.
They didn't have the resources to get it done the right way.
Yeah, it's not cost effective for them.
Yeah.
You know?
And so, you know, I mean, again, this isn't necessarily a bash on Redfin. I wish the discount model worked, but it just doesn't.
But okay, so bottom line then, if someone is thinking about selling their home, obviously what you're saying is that discount brokerage looks appealing, but sometimes things are too good to be true.
If it looks too good to be true, many times it is. I'm not saying it always is. You know, there's one-offs, but just interview other people, look at their Google reviews, look at what their track record of success is versus what fee you're paying. Because at the end of the day, again, we are not the cheapest option in the market. Made for More is not the cheapest option in the market, but we are the least expensive because we're netting our clients more money.
Fear, worry, anxiety, why go through all of that in selling your home? There's a much easier way. It's peaceful, it's joyful, it's exciting. That's what happens when you work with the best in our area, Johnny Jennings and his team at Made for More Realty. And check this out, you can get at least 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. Just Google Johnny Jennings with Made for More Realty and get more for your home.